Today's art practice lesson looks at Shirin Neshat's work. So she's famous for her black and white photography, which she then inscribes text onto. This is done in Farsi text and is usually Persian poetry or contemporary poetry, which of course we looked at in the appreciation lessons. It adds to the meaning of the image. So with the students, the focus for the lesson would be on the face and the body. So I've chosen to work on the eye, but with the kids you can talk about what they might look at, certain elements of the face, certain parts of the body, anything like that. So gives them a bit of leeway with that. So I've done some still frames here, like sketches of what I wanted to capture images of. So that's a good way of planning for the students. As you know, photography requires some planning with all the different elements like your composition, your staging, your colour, your line, your tone and all that kind of stuff, which you need to get into with the children if you're going to get into it more in depth. But definitely composition, what subject they're going to be focusing on and stuff like that. So I've done the eye, as you can see, and they're pretty much what I've taken the photos of. So so we'll be focusing on adding the text to the image, which Shirin Neshat does. Alright, so these are the three images that I'm working with. Obviously the focus was on the eye, as mentioned previously. So obviously Shirin Neshat adds text to her images. So we're going to explore a little bit with the kids and expand it a bit more. So rather than, just writing on it with ink, which I've got here, but also I'm going to let the kids, get magazines and get text that way in finding letters and gluing it on there. If they think of any other ways, more creative ways, they can, cut them out of coloured paper if they like, or stamps or something. There's just, it's not limited to just pen or textile on the photograph, so you can be a little bit creative there. So of course the text adds more meaning to the photos, so you've got to look at what text you are going to add and how it's going to relate to the image. So the kids need to think about what they're going to be adding, if it's going to be relevant, is it going to add to the image. So with one of my images, I'm just going to do the basic writing on top with just a Sharpie. It's got the fine liner and the both sides are different thicknesses. So this one, no, I'm going to do it on this one. Just because it's the focus is on the eyes, I'm just going to add the saying, which is like poetry, I guess. If kids have any sayings that they think would work well with their images, they can do that. Just words, any lyrics, any poems, any text at all really that comes to them and they think works. So I'm just adding seeing is believing, which I think works well with this image. So of course, literally it's I see with it. Then it has some more, other meanings behind it, which, asks you to explore more, wonder about what do you think it's referring to. and other stuff. So there's on different levels which you can look at. And on this one, I've also got this one, but I'm not really sure what I'm going to do with this one, so I'll just do these for now. You can do individual letters, which I was going to do it, but then, you know, finding the individual words that you're going to look at can work as well. So this one's going to be look at me, which is, you know, can be a statement, something about, I don't know, maybe any issues a person has, and that can come into like how the artist, you know, sees himself, or anything like that really. So I'm just using craft glue that I've got at home. PVA, anything like that around the classroom would work. So obviously I had printed these pictures off beforehand, but in the classroom you may have access to a printer that does print photographs. So that could work in the classroom. So getting the students to plan what they're going to take pictures of with the frames as I've gotten here, and then actually taking the photos, them thinking about the composition and works well, and then of course they have to think about what text they're going to add to it and how they're going to add the text.